In this video, we will be covering the basic configuration steps for getting started with FreezerPro. This will largely take place in the Settings and Preferences section of FreezerPro and will require administrative privileges and access rights. By clicking on any of the plus signs associated with each of the tabs on the left-hand side of the FreezerPro interface, you may expand the respective section and access any of the available settings and tools. For configuration tools, expand the Settings and Preferences section. In this section, you may manage users, roles, user groups, sample types, sample source types, user-defined fields, box types, report templates, aliquoting templates, system preferences, and any of the available modules that you may have in your installation, such as the Workflow module via the Sample States tab or the Clinical Data module via the Test Data Types tab. To begin with configuration, we will first discuss how to manage users. Double-click on the Users tab to open the Users configuration window. In this view, we can add, delete, and edit users by selecting their respective tools. We may also change a user's password, should it be necessary, and assign all samples from one user to another user, which is a useful tool for when a user is about to be removed from the system. To add a user, select the Add User tool at the top of the view. A user will need a login name and password. Additionally, you will need to verify that you typed the password as intended by filling out the Verify Password field. You may provide the user with a full name and an email as well. Users may have different roles within your system. To assign a user a role, select the drop-down menu and select which role you would like to assign. The last available option is to include the user in any user groups. You may do so by selecting the drop-down menu or by typing the name of a user group. If you do not have any user groups in your system, there will be none to choose from. To finalize the addition of a new user, select the Add button. It may be necessary to edit a user at some point. In order to do this, you may select the user in the view and select the Properties tool in the toolbar. Additionally, you may right-click on the user and select the Properties tool. When in the editing window, you may change the user's login name, full name, email, role, and which user groups they are associated with. Note that the password cannot be changed in this window. In order to do so, the Change Password tool must be used. When any changes are made, you may finalize them by selecting the Save button. FreezerPro installations usually have a limited number of user seats. In order to free up a user seat, you may wish to delete a user. To delete a user, simply select it in the view and use the Delete User tool in the toolbar. Additionally, you may right-click on the user and select the Delete User tool. To prevent accidental deletions, you'll be prompted to finalize your deletion. To confirm, select the Yes button. If you wish to delete a user that has samples, you will first need to reassign all the samples owned by that user to a different user. The Reassign All Samples tool can be used in this situation. To reassign all samples from a user, simply select the user and then select the Reassign All Samples tool in the toolbar. Again, an alternative method is to select the user, right-click, and then select the Reassign All Samples tool. When you do, you will be prompted with a list of users to whom you may wish to reassign the samples. Select the desired user and confirm your action with the Assign Samples button. Once you do, the original user will no longer have samples associated to their account and will be freed up for deletion if necessary. The last option in the toolbar is to change the user's password. This is a useful tool for when a user forgets his or her password. As an administrator, you will have the ability to reset their password for them. To reset a user's password, select their account in the view and select the Change Password tool. You will then be prompted to assign the user a new password and confirm the new password with a verification entry. Once you have done so, you may confirm your submission by selecting the Change button. A user that has had their password changed by the administrator will be prompted to change their password again once he or she logs back into the system. This concludes the general configuration managing users video tutorial. Up next, we will discuss managing roles. To review, users can be managed in the Settings and Preferences section of FreezerPro. Each user has a username, password, email, and role. There is a limit to the number of users you may create in your system. This number is represented by your installation's user seat license.